Hey guys, it's Tim Sestrick, and I just wanted to give you an example of the activity that you're going to be doing in class tomorrow, just for the first part of class. And it's basically just working with some of the ideas and things that we've been talking about in the last couple of classes. And the first part is finding some physical music, and the second part is finding some online music, or what Dr. Silverman referred to as the trinity of online resources. Going back to finding music, this is just based on the composer that you looked at last week when I asked you to take a look at some work lists in IMSLP. And it's just, please find a hard copy score of one of the composer's works in Presser. So I just want to demonstrate this for you. And I'm going to do it with Purcell. And let me go to IMSLP and go to the works list. And I know I talked a little bit about the opera Fairy Queen last week because I was excited about the fact that there was a timpani solo in it. So let me just scroll down. It's a long works list. Let me find the operas. Okay, so Fairy Queen is Z629. So I'm just going to go to the music library and take a quick look for a score for this opera. And once I do the search, I'm going to go to the left here, and I'm going to look for source type. And I don't see that I can limit it to a score, so I don't think a score is actually available for this particular opera, which is kind of a bummer. So I'm going to go back here to operas, and I'm going to pick another one. And I'm going to pick Z626, Dido and Aeneas. And I think I have a pretty good shot of finding this one. Okay, and I can see I get a lot more results here. And now when I go down to source type scores, a bunch of things come up. And I want to find something that's in Presser. So I'm just going to do a couple of things. I'm going to remember this filter. I'm going to go to available in the library. Okay, and I can see that there are lots of options here. I'm going to unpack this record. And unfortunately, that means I've got to go back and I've got to select scores again. Okay, and I can see there's a score, and there's a score as well. And there's another score. So I got three different options. And so for the worksheet, I would just enter in the call number and the title. Easy enough to do. And then the second part of this question is, we talked about relationships in class last week, whole part relationships, derivative relationships, accompanying relationships, equivalent relationships, and sequential relationships between pieces of music. And so for this one, I'm just asking you to use the score you found in step A and find an example of one of these relationships in Presser. And what did you find and what's its call number? And I think I already saw that for this particular piece anyway, it's going to be pretty easy for me. I'm going to go back to my results list and scrolling down. Okay, so I can see here that here's a collection of songs by Purcell. It's the International Music Edition. Sergius Kagan is the editor. And I know that, yeah, there's a couple of things from Dido in this collection. So this would be a whole part relationship. These songs are part of the whole opera. So that works really, really well. There might even be, in fact, I'm pretty sure there are some other relationships here. Let's see if I can find if I can find one. Yeah, if I click on this one, and I click on that, I'm going to see that this is actually it's the Lament from Dido and Aeneas, arranged for brass quintet. Doesn't tell me who arranged it, but it's published in Buffalo by Ensemble Publications. Interesting, it doesn't tell us who arranged it, but so this would be, of course, an example of a derivative relationship. Okay, so easy enough to do that first part. And the last part, online music, looking at this trinity of resources, um, just asking you to take a look at some online resources using the same score again. Can I find an online score? Can I find an online recording? And can I find a journal article about the musical work or about the composer? Um, Not too bad. But the best way to do this, and I mentioned it actually in the question here, use the library search tool on the Presser Music Library homepage, or any of the databases under the online resources tab on the left side of the page. So let me show you that. Let me go back to the Music Library homepage. Okay, so I can either use the search box here, or if I go to online resources, let's do this. Let's look for a score. I'm going to go into digital scores, and well, I know I can find it in IMSLP, the Petrucci Music Library, but I'm just curious whether it's in Classical Scores Library. And I'm sorry about the delay. This database takes a little bit of time to load. Okay, now that we're here, and I can do the same sort of search. Yeah, yeah, there it is. Okay. And I can do the same kind of search with other resources here. If I wanted to look for recordings, I could certainly do that. And to look for articles, I can use the main search box, certainly, and then limit to articles. In fact, let's do that. And get rid of that filter. And I'm just going to go to scholarly peer-reviewed journals. Yeah, pretty easy to find. Yeah, that's pretty cool. A royal witness to the court origin of Persil's Dido and Aeneas. I think I'd kind of like to read that. So pretty easy to find the trinity of online resources using this piece anyway. And I hope it's easy for your pieces as well, but I'll be there to help you with any problems you might have when you're working on these on Tuesday. Thanks very much.